No Pius Suter for a second straight day. What can you tell us about the evaluation that went on?
Yeah, day-to-day upper body right now. That's pretty well it.
Made some tweaks to your bottom two lines. What are you looking at there in terms of the options with Hoglander and Garland?
Yeah, I like I said, I thought the Rats between them in the preseason, they've had some good games together. Another good practice. I thought, I think Gar's a good job of kind of making that line go, and they were good today. So yeah, we'll see if they play on Friday, but. Then getting Teddy back in the mix is big for us.
You talked yesterday about some hard decisions. How much
Yeah.
more difficult could the decisions that are still to come be?
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk to Pash and Jim the next couple of days. We're going to have to, there's some decisions you got to make. Who's staying? I'm not sure if with the waiver thing and all that. That's something that we got to discuss. Like I said, it's a tough day because Deej is and he cleared, which. Selfishly, I'm happy about, and he's still in the mix. So that's something that we'll talk about. But going forward, that's a good thing that we have these tough decisions. That means we got depth.
You always talk about levels for guys. Arshdeep has made it through the cuts to this point. What's the next level for him to be a regular?
Well, I think sustainability. I've actually, I think his camp's got, he's okay. But I think he's getting stronger. I think I kind of liked his last two games. Whether we get him in on Friday, probably a good game to get him in, see how he goes against. I'm sure Edmonton will have a good lineup again. Can he keep that level? Because we have guys who are pushing for those spots. So yeah, just doing the things that winning battles. No turnovers. You get a chance to score, and like you did, the power play goal was a hell of a goal by him. Just things like that. That's the next level for him.
With his improved compete level, can he be a bottom six guy? Rick, could he be a fourth line left winger for you?
Well, whether to me he's an energy guy. Yeah. If he can be, there's different ways to win puck battles. He's not going to go hammer guys, but with his quickness, his puck skills, holding on to pucks, making plays. He can be a very good player for us in that category.
There's some guys who haven't talked a lot about what do you need or what are you looking from Amon from you?
Well, I think he's a really good penalty killer. I've actually thought he played really well in Edmonton. Okay. But Am's the same as everybody. You gotta string some games together. You can't have a good game and then kind of fall off. And that's the hard part of the NHL, being a regular, is being the sustainability. It's hard to do. But he's, I thought like the same thing with Baines. I liked his game last game. So so he's fighting for positions. We know what he is, and he wants to improve.
Does that apply to Carlson too? I mean, he's down in Abbey, but a couple of years he got a really long look in the preseason, but he hasn't stuck.
No, but he's sticky. He's a first call up guy. Yeah. He could easily stayed, and Baines could have. They were fighting for the job. Righty lefty thing. I mean, there's a lot of factors to that, but he's close. But the same thing. Can he sustain it?
You've talked so much about Ratu, but his ability to win face-offs in a fairly consistent manner. How does that improve his chances?
Well, on the right dot, is something that. We had a luxury. We had Lindy last year. He was excellent on that right dot. With Rats, I think if he does make the team, he could. That's a chunk. But we had, I thought, obviously got Millsy and P that can take the draws on that side. Teddy, yeah. I mean, we were a pretty good face-off team last year. So if Rats is going to make the team, he has to be you got to check the box. He's got to be a really good face-off guy for us if he's going to check that box for us.
Have you seen guys do what he does, flipping the stick over and pulling pucks back that way?
Not really. I thought Tavares tried it one time. I think a couple of guys have tried it. But yeah, it's an art, and you do get a little more strength on that technique.
Was that part of his arsenal before this training? Is that something he added this summer just because he saw an opportunity?
I started last year in Abbey. He started, and now he's applying. I like he's doing it in NHL games. Like I like guys that are trying it, and it just makes him a lot stronger on that side.
Rick, you guys lose Patera
Yeah.
on waivers.
Yeah.
You didn't use Tolopilo much in the preseason, but it seems, and there's, I know goaltending is such a state of flux right now with Thatcher and everything else, but it seems that maybe this is a real opportunity for Tolopilo to be the guy down in Abbotsford. Organizationally, like, I know you
Yeah.
say you defer to others, but like,
No.
are you guys, how high are you on Tolopilo?
Well, he's got all the attributes, right? He's big, he moves well. You know, I think the next level for him is, you know, the professional part, you know. I thought he had an okay camp, you know, I think he's got to really now to the next level, you know. Watch a Thatcher Demko, how he works out and how he applies himself, you know, even a Lankin and Silas. You know, those guys work really hard. So I'm not saying he's not working. I think he's just got to get to that professional level where he's got to really get dialed in. He's going to have a chance down at Abbotsford to play, you know, a bunch of games here. So I'd like to see how he handles that.
We just saw Dakota Joshua just pop his head out there today. What's it like? We know we don't have a timeline for him, but just to have him around the guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, you know, I want him around. Like, you know, like I said, he'll be come on the trip with us. Huge part of our team. You know, he's, you know, I think he's good spirits the last week before. He was a little bit down, and which is it was expected. And I think him being around the guys really helps him, and he's a big part of the guys. So, yeah, I love when that guy smiles. It's you know, plus when we get him back, it's like having a major trade, right? Like having a big guy like in your lineup that can score. So that's a positive for us.
What did Max show you here? Sasson?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's unfair because I thought he had a good camp and he played I think he played 5 and 7 nights. Man, I don't care who you are. That's a tough. So it's we got to be careful how you evaluate a player. 5 and 7. You know, you know, the fourth game, I didn't think he moved. You know, I mean, you talk like you're going, hang on a second. He played 5 and 7. I thought he handled himself really well. I think he's really upped himself on the depth of the organization, and if we run into problems, I think you know even Smith, same thing, and Tyler Mueller, those guys going down to Abbotsford and getting a lot of ice time. I'm not sure we'd be afraid to call a guy up if we needed those guys. So I think that's a big positive for those guys.